we will continue with this drawing here. We didn't put the window in as yet, but I'll let you guys do that yourselves. Put another couple windows, doors, you know, throw a couple more rooms in here if you want, and then it'll look more like a plan. But what I want to show you now is how to update this external reference. Basically, this drawing is made out of two drawings. One part of the drawing lives within this file called Project 2 in my case, and the other part lives in another file, which I can't remember what it's called, for example. It doesn't matter, it's a slab of some sort. How do you find out what it's called? It's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Let's go Xref, type that in, and hopefully something will happen. There you go, this thing pops up, and we'll make that a bit wider. Okay, so there's a couple of ways of knowing. One way is Xref, the other way is if you know where it is, and usually it's not too hard to find out, you just click on things. But if you click on here, you can actually you can list it two ways. If I click on there and type in LI, this pops up, or I can type LI for list and select it afterwards. It tells me that it's a block, and that's what it's called. It's a block reference, okay, which indicates it's an external reference rather than just a plain block that's been inserted in here, or a symbol, another word for a block. All right, so that's how you know. And then, so that's the name of it, and that's the name there as well. The other way we probably, if I go Control 1, we'll bring up the properties palette, and if I click on here, let me just minimize that, bring it across over here. Let's see, if I click on here, it says, see, I've highlighted that, the grey thing. It says it's an external reference. All right, does it tell us anything else? It tells us there, the safe path. The safe path has got a // slab sem 2014, whatever, that's the name of it. Usually the dot will indicate that it's been created as a relative reference, relative path, rather than absolute or full path, as we call it, as we discussed yesterday. All right, so there's a number of ways of knowing if you're dealing with an Xref. All right, so the thing is now, what do we do with this thing? We want to modify, for example, Xrefs. Generally, you can, if you modify the Xref, then this Project 2 will update automatically. The theory has it. Now, with AutoCAD, you can open an Xref whilst this drawing that's referencing it in is open at the same time, and you can work on the both drawings at the same time. In Revit, you can't do that. You have to unload it from in here, from Project 2, before you can open it on its own, modify it, come back in, and reload it. In AutoCAD, you can do that sort of stuff as well. You can right-click here and unload and reload and all that sort of stuff. But it's got an option here to open, whereas in Revit, it's open and unload, basically. That command is not open. So if I open this up, I've got both drawings open at the same time now. I can, as you can see here, you can Control Tab, or you can click from one to the other. And I can change this thing. Now, why is this green and the other one is grey? Because I changed the colour of it in here. All right, so you can do that sort of stuff. You can have a different colour in the other drawing as opposed to the original drawing. It's fine. All right, so I want to modify this one here, and perhaps I want to. Now, I can't do too much with a solid, really. I mean, I can add walls, and I can do things. I can, for example, I can add something in the middle of it. I can make a little box in there, and let me just put UCS, dynamic UCS, so it senses that. I can put a chimney in there. I can do Control key, for example, and select something. There you go. I can select that edge. Maybe I want this edge actually. All right, so then I can grab that edge, and I can do a little. It's not really a ramp. It's sort of like a cantilever there, which is fine if you've got a house by the cliff or by the river or something. You can cantilever out and jump off into the river, eh? Anyway, that's your dream home next. But we've done this change now. So all we have to do is save this thing here. So if I press save, and then just flick over to the other one, or Control Tab, immediately here it says a reference file has changed and may need reloading. So basically, if you click here to reload it, the changes will happen. If that doesn't pop up, that's fine. You can go here and just you see it's got a little symbol there. You can right click and reload from there. Alright, so but this thing is it should pop up. So if I click here, there's my chimney, there's my cantilever, alright? So it's coming here like before, the other one, alright? So that's how you update these things. It's quite powerful for when working in groups and sharing the work, when working with consultants and the like. You can all work as a big team, I suppose. All right, so that's the idea of that. Okay, so what have we? Another thing to look at in here is layering, for example. If I look at the layers, let's click on that. This is what we got. I mentioned yesterday that because it's an external reference, it. By the way, this comes up as well. View unreconciled layers. You really don't have to worry about it. Just close it off. It's just because we did update the original Xref things. We might have changed some of the layers and the colors and whatever, and we really haven't. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so it's just a reminder basically. So what we can do here is look at this, and this has got the prefix of the original drawing. So that's fine. You can look at that, but I want you to just take note of that, because when I do a change in a minute, I want you to see what happened. All right, so let's close this. Oh no, did I want to close that? No, not really. Let's put it back in, Xref. All right, so what I want to do here, for example, sometimes, for example, for archival reasons, or because you just want to give this drawing to someone who doesn't understand external referencing and doesn't really need it, you might want to bring the whole thing back into one drawing. Basically, what's called binding it. All right, so you only have one file, project 2. If I give project 2 to someone, the slab comes with it. If I give project 2 to someone now, without doing this binding business, they won't see the slab unless I also send them the slab. So they need 2 files to see what I see. So if I was to bind it so there's one file, I can go right click and go bind. Now this is another stupid sort of terminology here, like we had with the attachment and overlay yesterday. When we were attaching a drawing, he says, do you want to do an attachment or an overlay? Well, I'm attaching it. Now here I'm binding it, and it's asking me, do you want to bind it or do you want to insert it? I mean, I don't know. Either or. Okay, so if I bind it first, we'll go OK. And LA for layer. Now what happened here, instead of that vertical pipe symbol that we had in here, separating the prefix of the drawing and the layer, we've got $0, $0. Now if I look at that, I know this drawing used to be an Xref, and someone's bounded into this. All right, so now this is handy for when, for example, you might have more than one external reference in here, and for example, there might be two different footings in here. You know, might be another little unit next to it, and for some reason you want to maintain the the footing layer and the slab layer to be different to the other one. So, for example, you might want to have this footings one at that color, but the other one you might want to make them red. So you got the control of having 2 footing layers with different prefix, right? But you can control the colors differently. It might be like a sale plan, or it might be something you're doing like a proposal and you want to just highlight the 2 different types. It might be existing and it might be proposed and new, whatever. So there might be a time where you want to have two layers that are called footing, basically. So you can do that. So binding will do that. You know, if I undo all this stuff, see that, undo, and went back to that. All right, I just enter. All right. Okay, now what I want to do is maybe just minimize this and go back to this one. Right click and go bind. Of course, you can detach it from there and all that sort of stuff. Now go insert this time. Go OK. Now both of them, what they do, they bring this in as a block. So basically, if I list it now. This is block reference. Okay, so you don't know if it's an external reference. So that was a bit of a lie before. But if we go to properties, sorry, control 1. Let's see what it says here. Now this one says, instead of before we were saying external reference, it says block reference. Right, so this is probably a surer way of knowing if it's a block or an external reference. All right. But anyway, it's a block, but what I wanted to show you more is the layering here, normal prefix, all gone. All right, so if I happen to have had a layer in here called roof, all right, and it was a different color, say red, then because I was going to end up with two roof layers, basically, because one's been merged into the other now, the one that happened to be in here first, in the host drawing, is the one that the new one would take the properties of. So my roof that I brought in from somewhere else, say, or actually slab would have been, footing would be a better example. That color there would have, if my footing in here was red, this would become red as well, because the host layer is the one that takes precedence. All right, and so yeah, all the properties of the host layer will be applied to the one that was brought in. And if I didn't have a footing layer in here before, and I had two slabs, and they both had a footing layer, like both externally referenced, then the slab that I brought in first, or the footing that I brought in first, will be the layer that is used for the properties of the color and the line type and all that sort of stuff. So it just goes in order of coming in, basically. So that's what you do with that. All right, so what else is there? Close this. I don't really want to do that, actually. I'll just undo that. I'll just do Control Z until those layers come back. Oops, they did. There they are. There they are. All right, good. All right, so we'll have a look at that. Just maybe leave it there. I'll just we might leave it there, and I'll show you how to do the transmit next. All right.